The tower and monster releasing gate appeared unexpectedly 18 years ago. Finally, players with superhuman abilities became the hope of humanity. Players grew into a global force. Now, humanity's heroes. Giju Kim, the delivery boy, believes he isn't lucky enough to play. On his way home, he hears the commercial. He sees Sikwayu, South Korea's newest hero, who is 18 years old. He believes that people with extraordinary abilities are superhumans among superhumans, with unimaginable strength and skills. He dashes to the mailbox. He is dismayed to discover only a loan, hospitalization, and school fee letter. While handing him the Players Association player invitation letter, Gijiyu inquires about their mother's health and wishes him a happy birthday. When Gijiyu saw the letter, he yelled that he was a player and would change their lives. After arriving at the organization, he opens his info tab and discovers he has a unique ability. Sukwu-yu, South Korea's newest hero, overhears Gijiyu and discovers he's a one-of-a-kind retainer. He guides Gijiyu through the Players Association portal in the tower. Sukwu kills 100 goblins in 10 minutes after arriving on the first floor and tells him that he wants to create the ultimate guild that will surpass the Einfella Guild and that he needs unique ability retainers like him. 5 years ago, Gijiyu was invited to the tower at 18 and given a unique ability, supposedly a privilege of the chosen. He's stuck at level 1 and spends an hour hunting goblins. Gijiyu rejoins the rest of his party. According to one of them, goblins have leveled up and are easily defeated. Gijiyu claims that they'll tackle the second floor tomorrow and that he'll see them all at the entrance in the morning. Gijiyu discovered his secret training location after guiding by spending more time on the lower floors than anyone else. Every day, one goblin appears. When a goblin appears, Gijiyu believes it will be simple if he can hit it before it notices him. From behind, the goblin notices Gijiyu approaching. When it attacks with its spear, Gijiyu realizes he's in for another tough fight. Later, Taeshik-oh, the Player Association's Guide Department Operations Manager, informs Gijiyu that his clients will be assigned to another guide due to rumors about him. He tells him that he has received a job request. Afterward, Gijiyu meets the new party members he was assigned to guide in the tower, led by Seonpil Kim, who claims to have heard much about him from his cousin Sequel. Gijiyu mentally thanks Sequel for his assistance. Seonpil introduces Jaewon Yoon, Seong-woo Yoon, and Hanol Kim, members of the party. Gijiyu claims they will clear the tutorial floor in 4 days and 5 nights. They prepare camp and dinner at twilight, and Gijiyu tells them about the Guardians, boss monsters that guilds or large parties must defeat. Seonpil writes in his diary a few days later that the orcs were waiting for them on the tower's second floor on day 2 of the tutorial. Fighting them was more accessible than it appeared due to their slower speed. On the third day, a group of orcs and goblins appeared on the tower's third floor, but they were too stupid to cooperate. They quickly leveled up after Gijiyu started a pebble fight. After Gijiyu requests that Seonpil write the diary, he states that he has been writing every day since the Player Association invited him. The following day, the party battles orcs and goblins. Gijiyu warns them to flee a sandstorm if it's a guardian, but Jaewon is kicked in the leg by an orc. After spotting a guardian in the sandstorm, Gijiyu threw a smoke grenade to scatter the party. He shows them the way to safety. Gijiyu then learns that Hanol was poisoned and that the antidote fell to the ground while fleeing the guardian. He declares that he will seek assistance outside. He believes he can reach the summit in 3 minutes if he avoids the guardian. Behind him, the guardian appeared and threw him against the wall. Gijiyu threw the smoke grenade, fired the flare, and ran away. Gijiyu noticed the 5th floor door, where level 1 dies. The tower informs Gijiyu that he has entered the first test room, met the conditions, and lowered the difficulty. The first test was to hunt a goat. After mercilessly killing the goat, he is surrounded by black smoke and hears a rude boy tell him he is his master and demand a name. It's been 2 weeks since he was discovered unconscious at the 5th floor door, and he's finally heard what happened from Taeshik. When Seonpil's party was saved by guild members who responded to the flare signal, Giju's worries subsided. The Berserk Guardian, on the other hand, managed to flee. Giju is still level 1 despite clearing the 5th floor against his wishes, but his strength has increased, and he has earned the nickname Tutorial Slaughterer. After arriving at the tower, he begins his massacre, slaying goblins and orcs with his new black sword, Lu. Giju believes it was only yesterday that he was shaking over 1 or 2 orcs, but collecting the crystals now feels like more work. 1 month ago, on the tower's 1st floor, Giju attempted to connect with his alter ego, Lu, but could not do so. A sphere and system message appeared when he said Lu, stating that a formless ego named Lu had been summoned and that Lu's appearance would be chosen randomly due to the player's inability. When Giju asks if he can move independently, break the link, or feel pain, Lu, a black sword, responds rudely that he can't do any of those things, but he can confirm that he can feel pain. Giju then searches for the rock and employs it to teach Lu manners. Giju slashes an orc, after which Lu drains the orc's blood and levels up. Because Giju's bag is full of crystals, he returns and tells Lu that instead of the tower, they'll try going through a gate next time. After leaving the tower, he tells Taishik about his plan to enter the gate. Still, Taishik advises against it, citing the gate's strange behavior recently. Giju believes that high concentration crystals, unique items, and clear bounties are all in the gates after leaving the association building. Because the gates were more profitable than the tower and had many loans, he chose to clear the entrance. Later, at a cafe, Giju meets Song Su Ha, the gate's expedition leader. He gives Giju a profit distribution contract and so on. Song Su claims that the expedition will begin in 2 days. After 2 days, Giju looked around the gate at his teammates, who appeared to be awkwardly working together, and only Song Su and a red-haired girl knew each other. Song Su tells them to hold their positions as enemies approach, then multiple zombies rush toward them. He instructs the tanker to block them and then requires the dealers to attack them while he shoots zombies with his bow. Then, one of the dealers, Giju, entered the zombie horde and began killing them before they could do anything. He quickly kills all of the zombies around him with Lu. They arrive in front of the boss's room after resting, where Song Su shoots an arrow, the tanker blocks the boss's attack, and Giju jumps and prepares to strike. Then, when he strikes the monster and kills him in a single blow, shocking everyone, including himself, he gains cannibalism abilities. Then Song Su informs everyone that a piece of equipment, the dagger of paralysis, has been dropped. The tanker then tells Giju he can share the loot if he helps him take the dagger. Tanker and other dealers attacked Sungu when choosing the dagger's winner. Giju grabbed the tanker and threw him to the ground because the girl with Song Su had taken the dagger without him noticing. Tanker and other dealers attacked Song Su during dagger selection. Still, Giju grabbed the tanker and put him on the ground because the girl with Song Su took the dagger out without him noticing, and Song Su didn't flinch. Then, as a reward for saving Song Su, Giju takes the paralysis dagger and tells him that a man of his caliber doesn't need this weapon. After going his own way, Giju discovers a hidden location where Lu informs him that he can sense another ego like himself. Giju asks if egos are so common that he can find them randomly and then proceeds to discover a white sword. When Giju grabs it, a girl asks him to name her, so Giju names her L. Then, all of a sudden, the place began to crumble. Giju ran to the boss room to touch the massive zombie corpse and heard a message asking him to go to the reward room. He caught a glimpse of a gigantic golden eye just before his teleportation. After that, he received the rewards for passing through the gate, 30 violet crystals and a charm of protection, which he gave to his mother and used the money to enroll her in a hospital. He climbed the tower, passed the 5th floor, and reached the 9th. He considered going to the item auction house to find egos, but he couldn't afford the only one he found with Lu and Ellie's help. Nonetheless, his paralysis dagger sold for $100,000. A gate appeared in front of him on his way home. Later at the cafe, Taishik asks Giju if he is confident in clearing the F-rank gate that he discovered. After Giju confirms his decision, Taishik tells him to finish his preparations in 4 days and come to him, if he is not well prepared, he will not let him go inside the gate. After 4 days, Taishik tells him to get ready, not underestimate a former high ranker inside a training room beneath the player association building. Taishik appears before him and attempts to kick him, but Giju blocks him with his swords, Lu and Ellie. Giju then recalls a boy's earlier request to visit his grandfather's item market shop. When Lu and Ellie informed him that the boy's clothes were egos, Giju asked him to accompany him to his grandfather's shop. When he arrives at the shop, Lu and Ellie inform him that all the items in the store are egos. Jichul Huang, the boy's grandfather and a blacksmith, tell Giju that he will only sell his items to men who appreciate his work. Still, when Giju tells him that he can see the abilities of things, Jichul allows him to purchase items from his shop. Then he tries to link with them but fails, but eventually succeeds in connecting with the armor ego known as Brunhart. In the present, Giju rushes to attack Taishik, but Taishik easily blocks his attacks and tells him to aim for his vital spot with all his strength. So Giju concentrates and attacks him from all angles, but Taishik avoids all of them, and when Taishik tries to punch him, Brunhart appears to block and reflect the damage. Taishik told Giju that he had passed despite being knocked back and hitting the wall. Giju later arrives at the gate, and when he enters, wolves surround him. Then Giju rushes to kill all the wolves and begins slashing with his swords Lu and Ellie, which also level up. Giju rests after killing the wolves for 5 hours, then goes to the boss room and drinks potions. There, he feels massive pressure from the gatekeeper, a giant wolf. The wolf then charges at Giju, determined to consume the intruder. Giju deflects the attack and responds with a strike to wolf's cheek, leaving only a shallow wound. When the wolf notices this, he throws Giju away from him and attacks. Giju exhausts the wolf with a barrage of blows from all directions before killing it with his sword, Lu, plunged into its body. Then, all of a sudden, Giju's cannibalism skill kicks in, and the wolf named Changkyun is devoured by Lu and transformed into an ego. However, Lu informs Changkyun that he has nothing and feels the same. Then Giju realizes that to enter the reward room, he must touch the gatekeeper's body, but Lu devoured Changkyung's corpse. Giju decides to clear the remaining monsters in the gate after failing to find the portal leading outside, and on day 5, he kills the last wolf. The energy of the gate then congregates in one location. When Giju arrives, he sees a scene similar to the world shattering, and then all the pieces fall into a single location. His info tab then informs him that he has acquired an ego fragment and directs him to the reward room. Giju tells Taishik after leaving the gate that gates could be egos. Taishik drives him to the hospital in his pink car, where he spends the night with his mother. When Giju wakes up and goes outside the next day, the doctor appears and informs him that the patient is in critical condition. Even though Giju's mother seems to be in good health, her muscles have been severely damaged, and she has, at best, 1 year and 3 months to live at worst. Later, Giju ascends the tower and begins slaughtering the Minotaur monsters, only to despair at his inability to reclaim his mother. Giju has multiple bags of crystals on his back 2 weeks later on the 19th floor of the tower, and his beard has grown. The player then approaches him to rob him, but Giju tells him to leave him alone while displaying his bloodlust. A 19th floor security agent, Seonghun Hyo, arrived and inquired about the situation. When Giju informed him that the red player was inspecting his bags, Seonghun asked if he was Giju Kim and led him outside to speak with Taishik. Taishik tells him that he can save his mother by clearing a third maze gate that appeared in America 2 days ago. Giju completes the 20th floor of the tower in 20 minutes before departing for America. Seonghun shows Giju the international transport portal on the 5th floor of the Player Association building. After leaving the portal, they arrive in Los Angeles and proceed to Harryon's maze. Sungun assists Giju in becoming acquainted with the monsters of the gate before departing. While exploring, Giju heard a girl scream. He checked and found a girl tied to a tree. He cut the branches with his sword and saved Sujung. She explained that she was the party buffer but had been separated from her group. She requested to remain with him. Giju hunts again after allowing her to stay and slices the massive ants more easily with Sunjung's buffs. Sunyoung made hunting easier after 2 weeks. Giju felt a presence and saw America's high ranker, Iron Shield, and the Iron Guild while eating, and then the wall in front of him collapsed. Thanks for watching. If this series is the most liked in my anime recap production, I will make a part 2. Also, if you haven't yet, please subscribe to help me make more content.